Markets often feel calm right before people panic. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet. And that silence is usually the warning sign. Most people misunderstand the nature of a crash. They imagine it starts with an explosion, with breaking news, with red arrows flashing everywhere. But the truth is, the most dangerous moments in financial history didn't start with noise. They started with a whisper. They started with a period where nothing seemed to be happening at all. Think of the ocean before a tsunami. The water doesn't violently crash immediately. First, it recedes. It pulls back. The beach gets quiet. The birds stop singing. That eerie calmness is not safety. It is the gathering of potential energy. Financial markets work the same way. When the volatility index drops to historic lows, when the charts flatline, and when the daily price action becomes boring, many investors make the fatal mistake of relaxing. They think the storm has passed. But in reality, the storm is just taking a breath. When markets move sideways for long periods, it doesn't mean stability. It often means uncertainty. It represents a deadlock between the buyers who are running out of cash and the sellers who are running out of patience. Investors wait. Liquidity pauses. Decisions are delayed. Big institutions stop making aggressive moves. They sit on their hands. They hoard cash because they know that low volatility is a precursor to high volatility. Imagine a compressed spring. You can hold it down with your thumb and it looks still. It looks stable. But underneath that stillness, there is immense pressure building up. The longer you hold it down, the more violent the reaction will be when you finally let go. Markets that grind sideways for weeks or months are exactly like that spring. History shows that panic rarely starts during chaos. It starts during calm. It starts when the market becomes too complacent, too comfortable, and too sure of itself. Let's translate this into what it means for the real economy. Because Wall Street and Main Street are connected, even if there is a delay. For everyday people, market panic doesn't show up as headlines first. You won't see it on the news until it is too late. For you, it shows up differently. It shows up as prices creeping up at the grocery store. It shows up as the gas pump taking a little more of your paycheck every week. It shows up as a vague sense of uncertainty at your workplace, maybe a hiring freeze, or overtime hours getting cut. This is the silent phase of the crisis. It is when savings start feeling weaker. The money you have in the bank doesn't buy what it used to. You might notice rent notices arriving with higher numbers. You might notice that your friends are going out less. The pressure builds slowly, almost invisibly, until suddenly it feels heavy. It feels like a weight on your chest. This is the trickle-down effect of a stagnant, uncertain market. When liquidity dries up at the top, the flow of money stops reaching the bottom. So, what do? When the world is holding its breath, how do you make sure you don't suffocate? This brings us to the most important money lesson you will learn today. When markets feel calm, preparation matters more than prediction. Too many people waste their energy trying to guess the future. They watch hours of videos trying to predict if the market will go up or down. But you cannot control the market. You can only control your position. One habit helps above all others. Know your numbers. And I don't mean vaguely. I mean exactly. You need to know your fixed costs down to the penny. How much does it cost to keep your life running for 1 month if your income went to zero tomorrow? This number is your survival baseline. Once you know it, you can build your buffer. A buffer is not just savings. It is a shield. It is the wall between you and the chaos. Clarity removes fear. The reason people panic is not because the market is crashing. It is because they don't know if they will be okay. They panic because they are flying blind. But if you have looked at your finances, if you have cut the fat, if you have built a cash reserve during the quiet times, you don't need to be afraid. You don't need to forecast markets. You need to understand your own numbers. Cash is a position. It is a valid investment strategy. In times of uncertainty, the return on your money matters less than the return of your money. Let's close with this thought. Calm markets don't mean safety. They mean attention. They are a signal to wake up, not to fall asleep. If you are bored with the market right now, you are in danger. The boredom is the trap. Use this silence to get your house in order. Use this quiet time to educate yourself, to strengthen your savings, and to mentally prepare for the volatility that is mathematically guaranteed to come. This is education only, not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and I don't know your personal situation, but I know history. And history tells us the time to build the ark is before the rain starts, not after. Stay aware, stay steady, and don't let the silence fool you.